Well, hello, and thank you for pulling up this video and getting started on this course. My name is Jonathan Laws. I'm going to be your instructor for Math 1210 this semester. And if you're watching this, you've probably pulled this link up from some instructions that I sent you via email, or you've logged into your Canvas page and have access to the course information from there. You don't need to have any of these documents printed. If you want to have them open on your screen, that's great. If you want to just follow along here and then look at them after. You do want to take a really good look at these after I'm done. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take those the first day of class. That way everybody can benefit and make sure they get the same information. So jot down any questions that arise, and then we'll deal with those the first day of class. But I will give you hard copies of most of these. I'll definitely give you a copy of the calendar that we're going to go over here, and then also the homework that I'm going to show you next. So let's take a quick look at the calendar, because that's really going to drive what we do in this course. This is my email address, and that's usually the best way to get a hold of me. I'm moving offices right now, so I don't have an office number right now, but as soon as I get one, I'll make sure you're aware of that. As I've mentioned before in emails that hopefully you've received at this point, the way I teach this course is I actually use what's called a flipped classroom. I've recorded videos that explain the concepts. They go along with some guided lecture notes in PDF format. And you go through and you watch those videos outside of class, and then you can come to class and you can ask questions and work on homework. I've done this a couple of times, and students have said that this is more effective in calculus than any other class, just because it's such a difficult class. And students often have so many questions, and yet there's almost no time in a regular calculus class to answer questions, just because there's so much material to go through. So I think you're going to like this. This has worked really well. I've made a couple little adjustments to the way I run this class for this semester, based on some things that students suggested and some things that I felt could be done better. So let's take a look at the calendar. The first thing you'll notice is that you can access all the course information from that Canvas course website, so you're going to want to make sure that you can get in there. And then we will have a quiz in class nearly every day. It's nothing to panic about. It'll be relatively easy. Maybe an easy problem from the lecture notes, maybe one of the first problems on the assignment, but something just to make sure that you're staying on track and watching the videos and know how to have those basic skills that we've gone over. So you want to make sure that you've watched each one of those lecture videos before you come to class on the day that section's listed. So you'll notice that next week, or excuse me, the first week of class, so this is the 20th of August, on Wednesday, that first day of class, we actually take 2 days to do some pre-calculus type review. And that really is what students struggle with the most in calculus. So we spend a couple days reviewing that. It would be great if we could spend a month doing it, but we get a couple days. So I've got some videos for you to watch there. And this is going to be a lot of in-class time to work and ask questions, make sure you've got things figured out. Then we really hit the ground running on Monday, the 25th of August. On that day, we're going to have a quiz on pre-calculus type material, and you should have watched the video for 2.1. If you've done that, we'll have a short quiz on 2.1, and that assignment is actually due the next day. On Tuesday, the 26th, you're going to have watched a video on 2.2 before you come to class. We'll take a quiz on 2.2, and it'll just kind of go that way the rest of the semester. A couple things to note on the calendar. I've got everything on here, including holidays and everything. There's Labor Day, so that's nice. We get that just 2 weeks after school starts. We've got our fall break coming up in October. And then Thanksgiving. I do want to point this out. Because this class is a mix of college and high school students, those high school students don't have class on Wednesday the 26th, right before Thanksgiving. So I've adjusted the calendar so that everybody has that day off. We've got enough time to cover everything, and we should be just fine. And then the final exam is on Wednesday the 10th of December. So the semester will go pretty quickly. Calculus is a great course. I hope you put in the work and the effort that's required to learn it. If you ask questions and stay on track, you should be in really good shape. So if you'll take a look here, this is the homework page, and I'll give you a copy of the homework and the calendar back to back on cardstock, so you can put that in maybe a 3-ring binder or something and refer to that. We'll have some diagnostic tests that are out of the textbook, and I'll give you copies of those. So if you don't have your textbook, you can get started on those. You'll see those in a upcoming email or a link on Canvas. There are some things that you need to do out of the textbook in Chapter 1. So this is the very beginning of the book. This is Chapter 1, and then we'll have a quiz. And then here's how we typically go through the homework. It just has the section number and then what problems I want you to do. You'll notice that some of these are very short. There's only 5 problems here. A couple of these do have multiple parts, but they go quickly. And then you've got a few that are really long. So if you'll follow this and make sure you're using this and the Canvas website, you should be in pretty good shape. So again, I'll give you copies of these 2 documents on the first day of class. Let's take a look at the syllabus. I won't give you a copy of this just because it's a waste of paper and it's accessible online all the time. But again, all my contact information here. I'll let you know where my office is. I do have an off-campus office, so the best time to reach me is usually in class or before or after class if you need some extra help. I'll get you my phone number, but email is usually a really good way to get a hold of me. And then again, you can access everything related to the course through the Canvas website. Here's the textbook, Calculus Early Transcendental, 7th edition by James Stewart. I don't require online homework. I don't use MathXL for this course. There is a generic course that you can use, and there are also some other ways that you can practice homework online and get some extra help if you want to, but I don't monitor or require anything like that. I would like you to read through the syllabus and make sure you're aware of all these things. I'm not going to go over every one of them. You can read them on your own, but I would make sure that you're aware of those. The prerequisites, including 1050 and 1060, ultra important in this class. There are course objectives that you can find on the SLIC website. Calculators. A graphing calculator would be helpful, but you can't use it on exams. I would probably just use a regular old scientific calculator for most of the stuff that you're going to do in this class. Figure out how it works that way, and then you can use a regular scientific calculator on parts of some exams. So just make sure you practice with what you're going to use on an exam. No graphing calculators or programmable calculators can be used on exams, so do be aware of that. They are nice tools for learning how calculus works, and I will show you some things on that, but you do need to just use a scientific one. This does qualify as a gen ed class, so you do have to add to your ePortfolio. We'll talk more about that when the time comes, but you will do projects and you will upload them to your website. And I will check to make sure that you've done a reflection and uploaded that document before I give you the grade for your ePortfolio. Lots of things here on the course schedule, expectations as far as attendance goes and things like that. I'll get into that more in just a little bit. There's a big line right here that says practice is crucial for the mastery of calculus. That is very true. You've got to practice these techniques. Sometimes when I demonstrate them on a video or something, they'll look like they're very easy, but then you try and do a problem yourself and you get lost in the details. So you've got to practice. Again, a reminder about the final exam policy at Salt Lake Community College. The math department has a policy: if you score less than 60% on a final exam, the highest grade you can receive is a D. So if you go into the final with an A average and you get a 52%, the highest grade I can give you is a D. And then you'd have to retake the course. It doesn't happen very often, but you just want to be aware of that. Please don't cheat. The consequences are pretty severe. Please hang on to all your old work. We'll talk about how we do some grading in just a second. Here's the grade scale, and this is the approximate breakdown for how things are graded. We'll have homework, quizzes, and projects. They're worth about 30%. The midterm exams, there'll be 4.5 of them really, worth 45%, and the final exam is worth about 25% of your grade. Lots of places for you to get extra help, the tutoring center. There are lots of places on the internet and different things like that, but above all, we're going to have a ton of time in class for you to ask. So I would love nothing more than if you would make sure that you're staying caught up and that you ask me questions about things that you don't understand. And I just got a typo here. Let's see. Each homework, each section is actually worth 5 points. And here's how that works. So when you come to class, you will have watched a video on that section the night before. We're going to have a short quiz and it'll be worth 1 point. That quiz will probably come from the lecture notes, an easy problem, first one on the assignment or something like that. But it's usually going to be pretty darn easy. Not always, but most of the time if you've done the homework, it's going to be a piece of cake. Then you get 2 points for turning in your homework on time. And again, if we look back at the calendar, so let's take this section right here. Let's see, on Wednesday the 27th, here's what's going to happen. You will have watched a video on 2.3 before you got there. We'll take a quiz on 2.3. That'll be worth 1 point. And then we'll correct 2.3 the following day. So 1 point for the quiz, 2 points for the homework, okay? And then look right here. This is something called a representative problem, and I'm going to come back over here. You get 2 points for a clear and accurate representative problem. So let me talk about those representative problems for just a second. And I would read this in detail, and I'm going to show you some examples in a minute. But these are an important part of how I teach calculus and how I check to make sure that you understand what's going on, and how you check to make sure that you understand what's going on. So a representative problem consists of 3 things. It's a description of the skills learned in that particular section, one problem from that section that represents the skills that were learned there, and an explanation of the work that's required to complete that particular problem that you chose. So let me show you an example. Here's an example of a representative problem, and this isn't done perfectly, but it's nice and neat, and let me show you the general idea. This person wrote down, these are the instructions. This is the particular function that they're working with, and this is part A, and it has a little interval that they're working on, and it describes what's going on. So here's the work down the left-hand side, and here's an explanation down the right-hand side. Now, a couple things that are missing. This says number 31, but it doesn't have the section number, and it doesn't have the section title, and it doesn't have a description. So it's missing a couple things. Let's take a look at one that's done a little better. Okay, this one right here has the section number, a title for the section. This right here is the description of what the section is about. It's problem number 9 from 2.1. Here's the problem, and then if you'll notice, here's the work. So there's a bunch of mathematical work down here, and then there's a description of the work that it takes to answer the problem right there. So work down the left side, explanation down the right side. So let's come back here. So you could think of a representative problem, and I usually call them RPs, as an entry in a solutions manual. So you can look at that for help anytime you need a review or something like that. If you're going back and getting ready for an exam or a final or something, you can look at that representative problem and be reminded of how it works. You should pick a mixture of odd and even problems. I don't care what you do. You can even do ones that you've made up as long as you kind of get approval or something. But you want to make sure that the work and the answers are correct before you hand them in. What you hand in to me should be done perfectly. You've got plenty of time to do it. It's 1 problem per section. You should be able to make it perfect. And if you've got questions about how to do it, you can ask me and I'll help you with that. Can't ask me on every one of them. You kind of need to wean yourself off that. But I will also give you a notebook for those. I'll provide you with one of those. So anyway, these are an important part. So again, here's how you're going to get a lot of the points for the practice that you do. 1 point for the quiz that we take in class every day, 2 points for the homework from that section, and then 2 points for the representative problem from that section. So every problem, every section we cover has 5 points possible. Please make sure you're there every day. If you do have to be absent, let me know ahead of time, and please don't be gone on the day of a test. If you're gone on the day of a test and I don't know ahead of time, I won't allow you to make it up. I let you do 6 late assignments per semester. Again, no late tests, but you can turn in assignments, 6 of them per semester. But you can't turn them in once we've taken the test on that material. So once we take the test on Chapter 2, turning in late assignments from Chapter 2 is off limits, and you get 6 of those per semester. A couple things you can't afford to forget. There are lots of opportunities for extra help. I really would appreciate you asking me questions, and I really enjoy helping students understand how the calculus works and things like that. And then another couple of quick things. A general rule of thumb is that for college courses, for every hour you spend in class, you spend 2 hours outside of class on homework and different activities. And that's definitely true for calculus, maybe even a little bit more. So this is a 4-credit class. That means you can plan on spending about 8 hours outside of class. And I think that's probably pretty typical. The videos that you're going to watch are anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes long. If you'll watch those, fill them out, come with questions the next day and things like that. That's about 50 minutes right there. And then class time is about 50 minutes, and then maybe another hour outside of that. So I think it's going to be really advantageous for you to come to class with questions and be able to work on those in class when I can help you with them. But do plan on a fair amount of time here. Again, there aren't any makeup exams, but I will replace your lowest exam score with your final exam score if it helps. So let's say you bomb the second midterm exam, you get a 49%, and then on the final you get an 86%. I'll go back and replace that 49% with an 86%. Again, I'll do that on one exam and only if it helps you. I will collect assignments occasionally. Sometimes I'll just have you write down your score. Sometimes I'll collect them. So please make sure you keep everything. If there's a discrepancy or something, you're going to want to have documentation that the scores that you called are accurate. And again, these examples of representative problems. And let me just go over here, a couple more quick things. This is advice from former calculus students. These are students who were in your position within the last couple of years, and this is the advice that they would give to somebody else. You'll notice that a lot of it has to do with practicing and not procrastinating. Do the representative problems the day you do the homework, not the day it's due. Don't leave those till the last minute. If you stay on top of things and ask questions and are doing things, progressing through the course steadily, you're going to be fine. Calculus is a ton of fun. It's a really cool course and lots of fun to learn. Anyway, thank you very much. Let me show you one more thing though. Let me show you the Canvas course website and just show you that this calendar kind of mimics what I've got on your calendar. You'll notice that there are things that are due each day. So if you're staying on top of those things, you should be in really good shape. Like you can see that on September 2nd, that's when the first set of representative problems are due. Has the time there, 8 a.m. Anyway, again, I appreciate you watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the first day of class. So thank you very much.